We are going to wait another 5 minutes to see if we can get a quorum to have the meeting today. Okay. This is a meeting of the City of Ocean Shores Planning Commission. I think it's Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025. We're meeting at the Ocean Public Library Meeting Room. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Commissioners Johnston here. Commissioner Kern here. Commissioner Peterson
Here.
Commissioner Stalder.
Here.
Commissioner Ward is absent. As is Commission Chair Mark Wallace. I'd like to introduce to.
Oh, make a motion to excuse
Yes.
someone.
I need a motion to excuse Commissioners Ward and Wallace.
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
Aye.
Okay,
Gonna help each other. We got it.
thank you. I'd like to introduce our new commissioner, Judy Stalder, who's been approved by the council, and welcome her.
Welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
New voice here, and we filled one of our empty seats, so.
Do you want to give a little background, or you don't have to, but you can?
I certainly can. I've lived in Ocean Shores about 5 years. We landed off of a 5-year road trip in a 36-foot motorhome. And before that, I owned a business managing homeowner associations. We manage high-end HOAs up and down the coast of Southern California. So our total management was as big as Ocean Shores. Just they were spread out up and down the coast. And before that, I spent 22.5 years in the Navy. So
Thank you for your service.
it was my pleasure. So that's kind of me in a nutshell. You'll find I'm just straightforward and to the point and ornery as all get out. Is
Let's get right in.
that enough?
Good.
Perfect.
Okay, well, I'd like to call for a motion to approve the meeting agenda.
I'll make that motion. I'll second it.
So you're gonna have,
Peterson, Dennis Peterson.
thank you.
And Kern.
Steve Kern.
You, Kern, thanks.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the minutes of the prior meeting on September 9th, 2025.
And so moved. And I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, at this point, we have 3 minutes for public communication, so let's open the mic to our people online and people in the room with us from the community. Does anybody have any comments or concerns or anything?
Rita?
Rita, do you have anything?
Hi, Am I being addressed? I didn't quite hear that.
Oh, yes, you are. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. This is Vita Piera. I do have some comments regarding item 6 on tonight's agenda, which pertains to in addition to chapter 17, our zoning ordinance or our development regulations. And I was noting that there was not a public hearing provided for this amendment. And also, there was not a recommendation through the Planning Commission for the adoption of this change in addition to a new chapter to chapter 17, which is 1749, that has to do with short-term rentals. And I was just curious as to why there was not a recommendation forwarding this ordinance to council for action, neither during the March Planning Commission meeting, March of 2025, I believe it was March 23rd, nor was there one provided during this time period. According to RCW 35A 63.100, which is the planning for code cities, anytime an amendment is proposed for the zoning regulations, there's supposed to be a public hearing. So those are my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita. Anyone else? Okay, that'll be the end of our public communication for this meeting.
You have another one later.
What's that?
You have another one later.
Okay, under elections, due to my taking on the position of vice chair, we have an opening for the secretary of the planning commission. Do we have any nominations? Yes,
I would like to nominate Judy for our new secretary and it's a great pleasure, a little bit of regret that, but a great pleasure to nominate.
a second?
I second that.
Why did I think that no, never mind.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations, secretary.
Thank you.
Thank
And I'm
you.
scribbling notes. And I don't know anybody's name.
It'll happen.
I'll get there.
That's awesome. Okay, full business, public restrooms update.
So, last week, little brother and his wife were in town, so I drove them all over the peninsula. But didn't get anything done last week. The week before, I was confounded by all the businesses closing, taking days off. Some, are closed weekends, some are closed Monday and Tuesday. Anyway, this week I'm going to get back into it, and I've gotten most of the core businesses responses, and I've talked about them. I just have a few more to get, and then I will have gotten that whole strip.
Okay.
And are there still no takers for the public using the restrooms?
Well, the question that we came up with are real two simple questions. Do you have a restroom? And who can use the restroom? Employees, customers, or anybody? And in 18 cases, 17 people responded that it's for employees only. And only one person allowed customers to use their restroom. I mentioned last time that a lot of people send people who are looking for a bathroom to the arcade. I don't know whether the arcade knows that or not,
You probably wonder where they all come from.
but it's definitely I mean, there's on that main drag, there are no restrooms, no public restrooms. The closest restroom is, one on the ocean,
Chancellor Mary.
Chancel Lemaire, yes.
The public restrooms on Chance. So
It's quite a walk.
especially if you have to go to the bathroom.
8 or 10 in that building.
I don't know. I have never been in there.
I think so.
It's 8 or 10. That's a big restroom.
However, is it open all the time now? Are we still closing it?
Closing it at night.
Okay,
I think it opens at 6 and closes at like 10. I don't know that they open both sides fully or half of them. Except on like busy times, but I'm not 100% positive.
so this is my next dumb question. What is the proposal? Should businesses allow people to use their restroom? Or what is the proposal that we encourage businesses to allow people to use their
Well,
restrooms?
we're gonna go to the city council. The ultimate goal would be to construct new restrooms in that central business core.
Down there by the shops and
Yep.
Arrow and down in that area.
Right, all the way to the end.
Of where would we put it? I'm sorry, you guys have all had the benefit of this discussion, so you gotta
Well, it's
enlighten me.
obviously subject to available property, and does the city own any property in that strip? And if not, they'd have to acquire it if they're gonna take possession of it and build something there, so. It's a lot of balls
Yeah.
in the air, so to speak, there.
I would say we're in the very early stages.
Okay, I just
Gathering
wondered
some
what the
information.
planning commission's recommendations were going to be going forward.
Well, I can speak for myself. We need restrooms.
Oh, yeah. I don't go downtown because I need to be closer to a restroom than Chance.
Yeah.
Question. At one time, as we were going through things, as the planning commission, we talked about signage. And about, getting whoever or the process, whatever needs to be done to get a sign, one or two or whatever, as you're coming into town saying, public restroom facilities available at, and at least list the one that we have. Did we ever do anything about that, or have we?
Yes.
Okay,
We printed flyers. And the interest on the part of the merchants is underwhelming.
well, I guess I'm talking about like a sign as you're coming into town that says public restroom facilities located at boom, 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 boom.
Yes, so I don't think we've talked about that specifically.
Okay. I think it's something we need to think about.
Yeah. As soon as we wrap this up, the information.
Exactly,
This
exactly.
one.
Yes,
Did you ever get-
I did see that one.
they didn't like it.
So we were proposing to hand out to keep it on their counter or whatever in businesses, so someone came and asked for us, well, here's where the public restroom is. It's 15 minutes away.
Yeah.
Not exactly a good option.
Yeah. And,
That strip gets so busy.
oh, I know it. I know. My brain is just thinking about things, but I needed to sort of understand where you'd been so that I can be involved in the conversation in a meeting.
Sure.
I think at one point, somebody in the room had volunteered to make a sign if somebody would give them a spot to put it up, physical sign.
Yes, I recall that now.
Yeah, We need several of them, but we need to be something highly visible without being intrusive, you know. So it's still in this discussion phases and
Way early
seeking
discussion.
ideas.
Okay,
Um,
so we're down the road a piece before we even start moving this forward. Okay,
Be curious to hear what further he hears from the rest of the strip down there, but I'm afraid by just the sheer numbers that we already heard the percentages, I don't think there's gonna be much different response from the rest of them.
I don't either.
some of them don't even want their customers to use their restrooms.
That's correct. Most of them that I've spoken to, the 18 people, 17 did not want customers using their restrooms.
Partially because a lot, what we've heard is that quite a few of them, they're such a small business that their employee restroom actually has some stuff stored in it. You know, it's using the storage space as well as a
Yeah.
restroom for their employees, so.
And most of those, yeah, you're exactly right. Most of those businesses are very small. I mean, the space that they're occupying.
It's a tough one. Okay, thank you for catching me up to date.
Start talking about cost.
Well, there's cleaning cost and they would also have to be ADA compliant, and I bet you 98% of them are not ADA compliant.
I'm talking about it if we built a restroom.
Yeah.
You definitely.
But even if we allowed the public, even if the public was allowed to use a restroom inside a business, it would still have to be ADA compliant. That means you'd have to have a doorway wide enough. I know you're looking at me weird,
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. which is why businesses hesitate to allow public into their restrooms. Because you have to have a doorway wide enough to get a wheelchair through. You have to have handrails. You have to have an elevated toilet. So the tall toilets, so a person can slide easily from a wheelchair to the toilet and back to the wheelchair. You have to have a certain kind of flooring. You have to have certain kind of doorknobs. There's all of these ADA compliances that you have to. See, I know way too much. You guys are looking at me like, oh my God.
Been there, done that.
Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, had a toilet that was not ADA compliant and had to bring it up to speed. So it's a process. So as you talk to these businesses, that may be, no, we don't allow it, but that may be what's behind the no, we don't allow it. Because the compliance is not there with American with Disabilities Act.
That's a good point.
A lot of the businesses are not wheelchair accessible.
I had a knee replaced last November and I had a heck of a time getting in to get my hair done or get a. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard in Ocean Shores. We're used to happy, healthy tourists who want to come and spend their money being tourists, and we don't think about other things. So there you go. That's my 2 cents worth on this deal.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item up on the old business is the Planning Commission handbook update. I don't have any notes from Chairman on what he's already received on that. He just had a note here that anyone who hasn't, which would include me, needs to email him any changes that we found and everything we've reviewed. I think it's pretty close to being complete at this point. But,
Yeah.
We'll have further information at the next meeting, I'm sure.
I think it was the last meeting that he was surveying people.
Yes.
Because he specifically asked me, said, no, there are no changes. I don't recommend any changes.
Okay. So, after new business. I don't have any new business on the agenda, doesn't look like. So. Discussion, we want to see if there's any discussion concerning the item of trapping issues in ocean shores.
Where is that, right?
It went to council as a discussion item last council meeting. And that's where it's at.
Was it favorably received?
No,
No.
no, it was not.
So is there any other comments or discussion?
I suggest watching the council recording.
We'll do that. Thank you.
So I just have a question on why we decided to take a broad rewrite. Why not change the one word from illegal to legal? And then put a caveat of who you have to go to and the cost for legal. Am I making sense?
Mhm.
It
I-
seemed to
I
me
just-
like we were trying to do too big an effort,
Well, I understand there's been other simplified.
and they didn't go well either.
well, We're going through with the mayor's office and other places for review and there's, from the few I've heard about, they're simplifying it a lot because it's, you know, not just changing a word, but changing, making it point to us something that's already in there and explaining how that changes things.
So the code already has an exemption
Okay, but
that says State Department, State Game Department, which is the Department of Fish and Wildlife now, can trap within the city limit. But the State Department of Fish and Wildlife said they can't trap in the city of Ocean Shores.
because it says it's
because
illegal.
It says whatsoever. So all you have to do is write up at those top two sections, except as outlined in. Like, we were making it far too difficult.
That, see, that was my thought, as I sat and listened to the public comments, as I sat and listened to the council comments. I thought, why did planning commission decide to make this so broad and so difficult? Change illegal to legal with the following criteria.
Yeah.
But pardon me for being, there needs to be some monetary, you know, you have to apply, it's legal now, but you have to apply and this is the cost. Kind of like a building permit,
A trapping permit.
a trapping permit. So the city gets to have control over these permits, but Fish and Wildlife does the deed. The problem with relocating a lot of the critters
The
They're not gonna-
survivability.
is they're not gonna relocate well. And why would you want to relocate?
Yeah.
If you didn't want to live around the critters, why'd you buy here? I mean, we love watching the deer and the raccoons. We get the biggest kick out of them poking their little heads out. If you relocate them, you're gonna kill them. So it has to be a big enough incentive not to trap. And most of the time, that's this. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no,
Definitely gets
agree.
people's Attention.
Well, as it stands now, so a person who has a problem with
Mhm.
raccoons or whatever, they have to contact the city. And then the city sends out people to trap,
No,
no? The individual,
Nobody's trapped.
Nobody traps, so there was a huge discussion. I really learned a lot by sitting in the council meeting last week. And the people who showed up and spoke are not in favor of trapping or relocating the animals. They're not.
And there was a lot of them.
And there was a good sized line.
I guess trapping assumes relocation.
Or euthanasia.
That's why, that's why.
So, so my question, after I sat and listened, was why don't we just change it from illegal to legal? With the caveat that you have to get a permit to even contact Fish and Wildlife. And that Fish and Wildlife then has to have this questionnaire that says, have you contacted the city? And have you paid your permit? And have all of that stuff available for us, but it needs to be a hefty price. To get the permit,
Well, there's a little bit of liability in all this too.
it's a lot of liability.
Exactly, and that's why, that's exactly why we put it together, like we put it together, to go to the council, is because we wanted to do everything in our power to protect the city from any liability. And the reason I say that is because realistically, the state doesn't really, accept any liability when they issue the deal, because they hire it out with they don't hire it out. They give you the name or whatever of a trapper that comes down here and does it. And I think that there's a lot of fine lines to where, I don't think the city wants to have, residents out setting traps and, catching little kids or, in a trap or, realistically, and all that is what I understood is why we did what we did. Am I right? Pretty much?
I think the underlying liability issue is
Right.
primary concern.
Exactly. So we were trying to do everything possible, in my opinion, to protect the city. Our city, so.
Which is, my understanding is, even if what we come up with or alternate ideas are finally brought as a presentation to the council, it's still gonna have to go to legal.
Exactly,
That's
exactly.
where it's fire, so to speak. So, sounds like there's still a lot of things to discuss and ideas to toss around and maybe simplifying.
Well, it just seems.
You're proposing those
Yeah.
various things and see how the mayor and the various council members feel about it. Or
Yeah.
people in the community obviously have strong opinions about this particular subject, so.
A lot of blowback last week, lots. of
Yes.
blowback. Oh, yeah, there was nobody speaking in favor of not even off the council.
Not even the people who brought the original complaints to us.
Nobody spoke in favor of this, and I didn't know who brought the original complaints in.
We had several.
Yeah.
Some writing, some personally showed up here and shared their stories with us. Most of the issues were with beavers
Mhm.
and we kind of went from there.
Well,
But if there's no other discussion on that, I think I'll move on to the next topic.
thanks for catching me up.
Yes. The next item under discussion is the need to update old Ocean Shores municipal codes, beginning with those last updated in the 1970s.
I can give you notes on that one.
He just said that we need to parcel out these among commissioners, kind of like we did with the handbook.
So he-
Certain sections and commissioners be responsible to see if there's any of them that are in need of review or evaluating or even legitimate anymore or whatever.
Yeah,
And we're talking about updating. You said the ordinances?
city code.
City codes.
There's, I guess, quite a few of them that are,
Haven't been touched in a really, really long time.
it's a long time I've been out of high school, which is a really, really long time. And, yeah, a lot of things have changed in Ocean Shores since some of those codes were written, so they're in need of review. I'm assuming, Chairman Mark will be assigning those as soon as he's back from jury duty and gets the notes from this meeting and.
Do we have some idea what the scope of that would be?
All I was told was that that is what the mayor asked him to start working on, was looking at the codes, starting with the oldest ones and seeing if they're still relevant or if they need updating.
And you're going to identify those, or Mark's going to identify those? And, okay, so I guess the question would be, is does he need assistance with identifying those?
I'm sure it'll be a discussion again next meeting.
Do you have a sense of the volume we're talking about?
Well, if the mayor brought it forward, I bet you it's big.
Well, the upside is the city of Ocean Shores isn't that old. We don't have things in the code from the 1800s. Not even early 1900s for that matter, so
When
the
it was
70s isn't all that long after the city was formed, so,
incorporated in the
yeah, so
late 60s?
it could be worse. But we will go back to that discussion at the next meeting after Chairman Mark has had a chance to review it, maybe even had some of us assist in looking at that before the meeting. But,
Mhm.
so the next thing is reports and our lead planner from the city is absent today. He must have had some conflicts. And so we're going on to commission members' reports and if have any reports.
No.
And Mark's not here, so that ends that. So we move on to public communication. Yes.
Yes, you mentioned that you're doing a survey on 18 businesses for bathrooms that the citizens like me will have to pay for. It benefits mainly the businesses. And you've only surveyed 18 because most of them aren't even open all week. Are you going to do a survey for citizens? Like you're doing a survey for business?
We haven't got to that point yet. We want to get this part done.
No, that was initially something that was brought up and survey the general public, citizens, like you said, who would be, if we do public restrooms, would be responsible for the bill for them.
Yeah, I just can't see why a business would let a customer use this restroom. And I don't really want to pay for that. That's just my opinion.
Did you say you don't understand why a business would not want a customer to use their restroom?
I think they should, because I've lived here long enough where they have let me use it. And I haven't been into a problem with that. So this, I don't see the idea of building another 12 restrooms like down there by the Shiloh Inn. That would cost close to maybe $500,000.
Yeah, expensive for sure. There are
So-
granting
So
agents.
there needs to be more critical thinking. This is what I'm saying.
No, we're tossing around those ideas. Initially, when this first came up for discussion, I remember there was discussion about, you know, putting surveys out to the public and into the businesses.
Well, it always helps to have the public behind you.
Yes. Yes, sir.
I would just add to what he's saying, just as a reminder, LTAC dollars can be used for restrooms, public restrooms. That's a funding source that doesn't impact the citizens.
Yes, sir.
I think to kind of address the elephant in the room, so to speak, there's 3 major hotels here in town that have restaurants connected right to them, that the restaurants are closed. And I think if the restaurants were open later in the evenings, this would give people a place to go to where they could bring the family, have a meal or a snack, use the restrooms, and enjoy the whole town itself. And we tend to direct people, I think they park their cars here on the weekends, right downtown here, and then they walk. And if they park their cars and they're directed to park at the convention center, there is a parking area, main parking area, and then directed is signage to go over to the restrooms that are already there. Then they can walk back over, because that's what they're doing now, they're walking. And they don't move their cars. And then when they do, they're backing out into traffic. So I think that's a safety issue too on top of that. So I think the planning commission needs to kind of get on board with the thought of trying to get the restaurants open in town. We've got decent hours on it, and not have them close 3 days a week and, you know, that type of thing. If you don't have customers, you close your doors and go home. I mean, that's what some of them are doing. And I think that needs to be really drilled into the businesses themselves. So I don't think that we're being supported down by the restaurants that are here right now. Now, there's a few of them that's definitely the exception to that. And I could publicly name 2 of them right off the bat on them. They do a very good job. When you're in there, you notice that the people will go to the restroom first and then get in line to do their order, or they'll go take a seat. And the regulars know where the restrooms are. They don't ask. So they just use the restroom and pretty much do the same thing there, because they're going to be there an hour and a half, maybe eating. So I think our restrooms are a big problem as far as the, people addressing it, that type of thing now. And I think the back end of that is definitely, let's get some of these businesses on board as far as staying open, regular hours, and having a regular menu, that's affordable. I went in the other day and paid $35 for a meal, and I don't think that's a good deal. I mean, maybe it is in Chicago, but
Those are all valid points. Suffice it to say, it's an ongoing discussion. Rita, do you have any comment?
She's
I
got-
do, thank you.
Let her.
Yeah, hi, I do have some comments. Number one, on your bathroom issue. So those businesses are privately owned. They have no obligation to provide bathroom services. It's totally up to them as to who they choose to serve and how they want to have their customers use their facility. It is the city's responsibility to provide public restrooms. They could do this under the LTAC funding process. So for you to try to put this upon the private owners, you're not going to get anywheres with it, and they're not legally obligated to provide restroom services to the public. The second thing I would like to talk about is the Ocean Shores Municipal Code, which I am intimately familiar with. And I would like to explain for the folks that are probably new or don't know the history of Ocean Shores. When Ocean Shores was first started in the 1960s, they did have an HOA, and they still actually have CC&Rs, which are covenants and restrictions regarding all the properties in Ocean Shores. When Ocean Shores went bankrupt, Ocean Shores Estates went bankrupt in 1970, and then it became a municipal corporation. The municipal corporation didn't bother rewriting a lot of that HOA language, which is contract language. It's not it's not property law. And to be honest with you, a lot of that language is illegal because it's contrary to the Federal Fair Housing Act. And I can get into a lot of details with that, but I'm not going to because I have a limited amount of time. But I just want to say, that this project regarding redoing the municipal code should not be done in a piecemeal manner. It should be done in an integrated manner, and it shouldn't be presented to council as a piecemeal project either. It needs to be done as an integrated project and all at once, if you will, so that there's a time period, you know, I mean, because if you're going to change the municipal code, you have to allow the regulated community, and that's going to be developers, buyers and sellers of real property, to first of all, get notice of what the changes are going to be. And then you have to have, in other words, a moratorium period, say 30 days, during which no applications coming into the planning department would be accepted in order to implement the new changes to the municipal code. So I'm just cautioning you that you should not try to do this piecemeal. It has to be done as a complete unit. And then there needs to be time for the regulated community to be aware of what the changes are, provide public comment regarding this process. And so that's going to be my suggestion, because if you're going to try to do it piecemeal, it's not going to be accepted well by the regulated community. Thank you.
Maybe. So, yes,
I was just, I wasn't at the last meeting, but why would they want to trap the animals? Is it because they're living up there not supposed to, or are they in someone's yard that they don't want to?
well, just a couple examples that were initially brought to us was the beavers were destroying landscaping, like palm trees and taking out piers under docks where the docks become unstable. And
So where would you put them? Where would you transfer them to? Do you have to have a permit to take them someplace else, or
that's
that's what's in?
the discretion of the Fish and Wildlife and trappers, the professional master trappers that they hire. I have no idea where they've taken them.
I don't think they've done any trapping. Have they?
They generally don't relocate the beavers. They generally educate people on how to live with the beavers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Put wire
Yeah.
and fencing things around them that they can't get through, for sure. So, yeah, that was just one of the issues, you know, sometimes where there's raccoons can be really annoying, and Fish and Wildlife, the person that came here, that's one of the animals he fears the most, is raccoons and deer.
Well, that's because raccoons are bears. Part of the bear family.
You see a lot of dead ones.
Can I just, real quick, could I get a copy of the restrictions?
Yeah.
We didn't get it when we bought our house.
Okay.
So if you could,
They're on the website. I'll give you the link.
perfect, if you could just email me that so I can go retrieve them. I'm used to reading covenants and restrictions. I know those bad boys. Thanks.
Any other public comment?
I would like to say something else about trapping, if I could, since you allowed that other participant to chime in, if I may. So regarding 7715, RCW 7715, which is the wildlife damage statute, where this whole trapping notion is coming from, it only applies to commercial agricultural properties. So this is where I think the city is getting into a quandary among several places, but in particular, if there's residential properties that are experiencing damage from wildlife, that is better addressed through your homeowner's insurance. It's not, that state law was not designed to remedy complaints from residential property owners. It's strictly for commercial commodities and agricultural businesses. And this is explicitly expressed in the statute. So that's the first thing. And as I recommended to Mark Lawless, I believe, in writing, I do most of my stuff in writing, is all you have to do on the current code for trapping is provide for an exemption for the wildlife officers as already provided under state law. The city is making it much more complicated than it has to be. So that would be my recommendation. If you want to allow, the city should just allow the state law to exist and provide for that exemption so that the wildlife officers can operate in ocean shores if there's a need for trapping a fur-bearing animal within its jurisdictions. Thank you.
Thank you, Vita. Any other comments or questions? Okay, that ends our public communication. Our next meeting date will be Tuesday, October 14th, 2 p.m. here in the Ocean Shores Library Meeting Room. I have a motion to adjourn.
Want so moved?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourn.